I'm going to relate a couple stories, hunting stories that happened in the early 90s at my in-laws' farm. My wife Janet's a farmer's daughter, as you all know, but so when we married into the family, I was allowed to hunt Harlan's land. Harlan didn't have a ton of land. He had a fence line that connected with the Schneckloth farm, and then it went to the north, and there was a fence line in a creek that ended up going way back by a pond and by these high wire, those big high wire poles that aren't really poles, like towers, and then it went all the way back to the interstate. And it was a long walk back there, and in all the years I hunted, I never saw another hunter back there, I don't believe, ever. And we were never stopped except for one time, which I'll tell you that story. But it was a Thanksgiving weekend or day, and I hunted that morning before we ate. I had my two dogs, my water spaniel Deacon and my black lab Rita, and it was just me and the dogs hunting. And I got my limit in the rain, and which was rare to get 3 birds, and it was a great day. The dogs did well, and it was just a fun time. And so the following day was Friday, and I decided I would hunt again. And I grabbed the dogs and Janet and the girls, and we drove out to the farm. And Janet went inside with her mom and family, and I grabbed my shotgun and started heading my typical route. And I walked down Harlan's fence line, hopped over the fence, started heading down the creek line, and a kid on an ATV, probably about 10, 11 years old, buzzed by me. And I can't recall if he said anything to me or not, but he buzzed by me, and I just kept walking. And a little bit later, an adult came by on his ATV, and he was older than I was. I was like 32, 33 years old probably then, and this guy was probably in his 40s, and he was livid, and he was questioning me who the hell I was and why the hell was I on his land. Backstory: I didn't know he had purchased this land like in the last year, and so I didn't know whose land it was anyway, but I didn't know it was somebody this close. So anyway, he was mad, and he had a gun and I had a gun, and tempers were getting hot, and I decided I would put my gun down so we didn't have 2 mad guys with guns in their hands. And I sat on the bank of by the fence, and he was again just berating me, demanding my hunting license. Give me your hunting license. I want your damn hunting license. Over and over. And I said, sir, you can't have my hunting license. And he persisted, and I said, no way, sir. And so he said, well, I'm calling the DNR on you. And he buzzed off on his ATV, 3-wheeler or whatever it was. And I decided it's best I turn around and get back to the farm. And I went in the house, and I told family what had happened, and told Harlan, and he listened. And I said, Janet, let's grab the kids and let's get the heck out of here, which we did pretty quickly. And we left and went back home. And sure as heck, about an hour later, from what Harlan said, the DNR stopped by, stiff brim DNR dude knocking on the door, and Harlan answered it, and the DNR guy, from the way Harlan described it, he first asked if he could have my name, and Harlan said no, and he asked again, and Harlan said no. I'm not going to do that to that person. I'm not gonna have you pull up in front of his house because of this jerk, who was so angry with him. And then Harlan said the guy kind of got whiny, like, come on, man, give me a break. I really need the guy's name. And Harlan said, no, you can't have it, but I will give him a stern talking to. And with that, the DNR guy left. Okay. So it's Friday night. We head back to the farm. Me and Janet and the girls, to hang out with the family. Like Chuck and Jeff and the whole family, Ralph, they were all in town. And Harlan related that story. So then every Thanksgiving, probably as long as they were alive, I was waiting for that stern talking to, and it became kind of a family joke, a lore, kind of lore, if you will, that I never did get that stern talking to. A brief word about Harlan. He was really a good guy, just a glass half full guy. And as an example, like if I was hunting out there or something, or if I stopped by for something, he would always drop what he was doing, and we would sit at the table and we would talk. And he laughed easy, and I could make him laugh. And he was always present. He was so unlike my dad. And I remember I was going through a tough time, and I remember thinking what a good guy Harlan was, and trying to find oddly take comfort in his virtue as opposed to my dad's personality. And I'm not trying to blast my dad, but Harlan was just a terrific man. And he's been gone for like 30 years now, and he's sorely missed still. But anyways, my second hunting story starts at the mall. Me and Janet were walking down the mall, and we ran into this couple. And Janet used to watch this couple's kids when she was a teenager. And I'm like 6 foot, $190, 200 pounds back then maybe. And she introduces me to this guy and his wife, and this guy's name's Dan. And he's got to be 6'5", 230, 240, just a freaking big dude. And hi sir, and nice to meet you. We talked a little bit, and then we went our separate ways. Well, the very, very next day, me and my buddy Mag was a great friend of mine. We hunted together. We both had really long hair and beards, and he was blonde and I was dark, and he was kind of this guy I tried to emulate. He was a Harley rider. I had Harley shirts, but I wasn't gonna get a Harley because I'm just not a motorcycle rider. But he was an influence in my life, to be sure. But he was cocky, real cocky to anybody. He had a bravado about him. So, anyways, we hunted the usual Harlan Mohr, other people's land hunting course that we've always hunted, and we never had any problems. And so we're walking back, and it's a good walk back, and we're cutting through a wide open cornfield. It was chopped, harvested corn. So I think the dude on the tractor was turning it over. Probably, I'm not a farmer, but he was out in his field on his tractor doing something. And I saw the tractor, and I saw Mag, and I saw the tractor buzzing toward Mag, and I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on here? And I was like, this is bad, we're trespassing. Well, I felt accountable because I'm Harlan Mohr's son-in-law, and we're basically there because it's Harlan's land, and I decided to keep going. And we're trespassing, no doubt about it. And so I see the tractor pull up to Mag, and I'm thinking, oh, Mag, just don't be cocky. Well, I can see the silhouette of this guy, and he's big, and he's giving Mag the talking to, and by the time I'm up there, and Mag really hasn't said much, which was a real surprise. But he's trespassing. He's caught red-handed. And so I walk up to Mag, and the guy looks away from Mag, and he looks at me, and he kind of goes, "Oh, you're Harlan Mohr's son-in-law. Oh, go ahead and hunt, fellas." And he starts pointing shit out that we can do. And me and Mag, we breathe this great sigh of relief that we didn't get arrested and didn't get our ass kicked. But yeah, that was a sweet time of life to hunt Harlan's land, and then everybody else's.